I used to hate my own skin color. I used to hate my face, the way I'm skinny and I'm very short. So I used to hate everything about myself. I used to be very insecure about these things. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it kind of comes back. I'm confronted with the fact that I'm short. Happens. But now it does me way less. It's like an afterthought. I don't really concern myself with those things anymore. I'm not obsessed with it like I used to back then. But I just used to hate myself. I had brown skin, skinny, short, ugly. Fuck, bro. That was who I was. Why? How I saw myself. From a very young age, I just wanted to be normal, like different. I wanted to be white and have a regular name in my country. Yeah, I remember biking to school when I was 13, and I just biked past two girls. These two girls looked at me. They said something like Indian, and they laughed, and they went on with their day. And I remember feeling so bad. What the hell? Why would you? Why would you do that? Why would you bike past? You don't even know me. Yeah, I used to look at myself in the mirror, just yeah, looking at myself with not disgust, but also like you're so ugly and not hate. Yeah, kind of. I was like, why did I get this life? But I was very young and stupid. There's this particular story that I have in mind when talking about my insecurities, because not only was I insecure about my looks, I was also at some point insecure about my personality and who I was. Matter of fact, when I was 14, I was convinced that I didn't have a personality. I copied other people's behavior, people's mannerism, and people called me out on it. The people I copied from, they called me out on it, and I felt very bad. And they thought of me as cringe and not really my own person, and I wasn't. I was trying to figure out yeah, who I was and who I wanted to be, but really, I was just trying to figure out how to fit in, and that didn't really work for me. I tried to fit in, didn't really work for me, and I never really got close to the people in my class, I guess. It was all about 14, 15. And fuck, my nose is stuffy. Talking is weird. Whatever. So when I was 15, I smoked my first cigarette. And I remember doing it during lunch break of school. And there's always this group of people standing in front of the school, and they were smoking. I asked for a cigarette. They gave me one. I smoked it. I had smoked weed before for the first time. That was like 2 weeks prior to smoking my first cigarette. I smoked the cigarette, and I remember two of these girls from my class walking by, and they looked at me so confused, like, "What the hell? Why are you doing this?" And I remember that kind of attention. Bro, that made me so happy, which is kind of weird and sad. It was just some kind of attention and something that I wanted, that I apparently craved, which made me so happy. I'm not saying I entirely smoked because of that reason, but it was something that I took in mind when smoking a cigarette, that people would ask questions, that people would be interested in why I would do these things. Because it was a very normal. No, I was not normal, but I was cringe, and people wouldn't expect from me that I would smoke. So that was kind of funny. Life, that insecure life, and the smoking and stuff all kind of turned around. My life turned around when I was 16. Not 16, almost 17. Almost 17. Okay, to paint the picture. It's 1 a.m. I'm downstairs in the living room at the dinner table, my laptop in front of me, watching anime. Everybody is asleep. It just hits different when it's night and you're watching a series. I'm watching. At some point, I'm kind of bored of watching this series, right? So I hop onto YouTube, see what's going on YouTube. And on my recommended page, I see this video. I forgot the title, but How to Fix Your Life Self-Improvement Guide by Hamza Ahmed. And the thumbnail was, on the left side, you have this kid, this brown-skinned kid, this ugly brown-skinned kid. And on the right side, he completely transformed into a Chad, bro. He's like muscular, has a jawline, he looks good, he's confident. You could the confidence was just oozing from the picture. I was like, can I be that guy? I immediately clicked on the video and my life changed. I discovered things like going to the gym, mewing, posture, not hygiene in general, but I guess new things just to make my appearance look better. And this insecurity that I had, and this bias that I had that I couldn't change, that I would just live with that for the rest of my life, just kind of disappeared and got replaced with, okay, so we can change everything and we can become a 10 out of 10. And I started obsessing over my looks, but in a different way, because I would obsess over my looks, but with the belief that I couldn't do anything about it, and now I could do something about it. I mewed, I took care of my skin, I did something with my hair. I haven't always had the same hairstyle, but I used to, bro, look at my hair in, I have, look at my hair here. Oh. Does that look good? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh my bad. Does that look good? I don't think so. So I kind of needed to change. I needed to make changes to my appearance. And I really want to tell you that that's the end of the story, but that's not the end of the story. It's not I destroyed my insecurities then I just lived the best life that I ever could. No, because the self-hate and the pity that I had for myself kind of transformed into harsh criticism and perfectionism. Nothing was enough. And I got insecure again because I started comparing myself to like the top 1%. Like the Chads of the world, the Marlons of the world. These very attractive guys, and I was like, bro, I can't compete with these people. I was like, I've started feeling ugly again and insecure. And the perfectionism just drove me crazy because my eyebrows still aren't aligned. And my eyebrows aren't perfectly shaped, so I just assumed I was just not enough. I needed every little thing to be right, because then, or else no one would like me. That was the thought behind it, which doesn't make any sense, but anyway. It wasn't until, I guess, 6 months later, from the point that I discovered self-improvement, that I started to realize that there's something called mental health. that your mental health is very important, because you can have all the things that you want in life, but if you don't have the mental health to enjoy it, it doesn't really matter, does it? You could have 10 million in your bank account. You can have a loving family, a loving wife of children, and just actually the best life on paper, the best life ever. But if you are depressed, anxious the whole fucking time, you can't really enjoy it, can you? So that's when I started thinking, right, okay, this is very important. This is about something bigger. It's not always about looks and stuff. It's about how I feel and am as a human being. I discovered things like meditating, journaling, bliss, presence, gratefulness, just being grateful for the things that I have. I talked about this before, I said back in the video that I thought to myself, why am I brown skinned? Why did I have to be brown skinned? That's something that I genuinely thought when I was younger. Why did I have to be brown skinned? Why couldn't I just be normal? Why couldn't I be normal? Instead, I practiced gratefulness for the life that I have. And now I'm actually very grateful for being brown. Just because it's, in my country, it's a bit different. I kind of like being exotic in that way. Yeah, I like my face now. I like the way my hair is. Nah, actually, I need to go to the barber because it's kind of getting too long. But you get the point. I'm now someone who I can be physically proud of. I think I look pretty good. You can always look better, but I love how I am right now. And I'm only improving. I'm still going to the gym. I'm still doing my things. And I love myself right now. And I wish I could tell you that's the end of the story. Because if we really want to destroy insecurities, we have to kind of get out of our own heads and validate our own opinions. Just be grateful for what you already have and validate your own opinions. Not actually, if we really want to destroy our insecurities, it's mostly because we want to destroy insecurities because we aren't grateful for the things that we have. I know that's hard to take a hard pill to swallow because you're like, no, I just want to be confident. Fuck you, bro. But it's an ongoing process. You can't really. That's not how it works. You can't actually destroy insecurities because it's been an ongoing process of convincing myself that I am worth of being loved, that I am attractive, that being brown skinned is not a disadvantage. Maybe it kind of is, but whatever. That being brown skinned isn't bad. Weird, right? That's something that I didn't actively put in my mind. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I did actually. This is me from the future. When I'm editing the video, I realized that I said something really stupid, and that is that I actually did put it implanted in my brain because I have this notebook. I literally have this notebook, a gratitude journal, where I write down every single night 3 things for that I'm grateful for. And that completely transformed the way I think. Instead of looking at all the things that I lacked and that I missed, I started looking at the things that I already have and appreciate. That's very important. And at some point, you're also beginning to appreciate the things that you didn't even write down. So I never really wrote down I'm grateful for being brown skinned, but at some point I just started to think that because it's something that I have, it's something that I can't change, therefore it's something that I should be. It shouldn't negatively impact my mental state because I can't change it. I can't change my skin color. So why should it negatively impact my mental health? It's something that I could accept and even be grateful for because it's part of who I am. That I just wanted to share. Alright, continue with the video. But it came to me as I got older. You're also gonna notice that the people around you that they judge you on drastically change as you get older. Because they get emotionally more intelligent and stuff. And it also depends on the level of education that you follow, I guess. Because only stupid people bully other people. Why? Because only stupid people will judge you on your skin color and all these other things. Only stupid people will like make fun of you because you are a nerd or look like a nerd or are not confident instead of being compassionate about it. But as I said, it's like this is still an ongoing story. I make new insecurities every single day, bro. It's an ongoing process. You can't just be free of insecurities. Or maybe you can at some point. But there's still a lot of things that we have to face. It's an ongoing process of being, no, if improving and sharpening your mental state, of overcoming obstacles. Life is about overcoming obstacles. For me, insecurities is one of them. There are also insecurities that I built from mistakes, I guess. Because these things, being insecure about your looks and stuff, is very different from being insecure about mistakes that you made. Actual mistakes. I used to think of myself as a responsible person. I took care of people and I looked out for people. That's just how it works. When we're going out with, when I go out with my brother or other people, I'm always sober and make sure everyone's okay and having a good time. That's just me trying to be responsible. When I crashed my parents' car 2 months ago, does that fit the identity of being a responsible person, crashing a car? No, it doesn't. I wasn't paying attention to the turn I needed to make and to the speed I was going at, and that's why I crashed. Does a responsible person do that? No. So that part of myself that I thought I was got shattered. I used to think of myself as loyal. I have a girlfriend. I flirted with another girl at a party. That does a loyal person do that? No. And I regret it with all my heart, and I'm not going to do that again. But that initial identity that I had of myself being this loyal and responsible person just got shattered. And I'm trying to build myself up again, and the belief that helped me with that is you can mess up once and not let it define your entire identity. So truth be told, these are very big things, but just because it happened once doesn't mean you'll always be unresponsible or not loyal or any other thing that you can come up with. It's when these things become a pattern that you can't call yourself responsible. So if I were to, I don't know, let other people be responsible when we go out, I drink a lot. I don't even drink, but I would drink a lot and just let other people be responsible, shouldering the weight of looking out for other people. Then it would be a pattern and I couldn't call myself responsible. If I would keep flirting with other girls, I wouldn't be loyal. But it's never happened. It hasn't happened again. So, yeah. But I also vowed to be better, because not only do I want to reach the level of that feeling that I had, I want to grow beyond that and become even better. But yeah, these are things that I've been struggling now with lately. Yeah, anyway, I think that was the video, and I hope you enjoyed. This is quite a long video. I hope people will watch it. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.